Hi, guys.
It's Monday, February 11th.
Hello. And everyone, I like to start Mondays off quietly.
Yes.
Because we want to talk about self-love and walking into Monday with some grace and some dignity.
On that note, it's Alex's birthday! Yay! Alex, come show your face. Come show your face, Alex. Do you want to tell us how old you are?
I'm 33.
You don't have to. Yay!
What do you wish for your birthday? To get out of here?
To not be at work?
Just, to have a relaxing time.
Yeah. Good luck with that. That won't be happening.
To have a relaxing time. I love it, guys. I have my coffee, my mocha.
People
that
are
Jeff
saying,
makes
what's up,
fun of.
frothy coffee people?
What's up, Frothy Coffee? We had the Grammys on last night.
Yes,
I watched
we did.
every second of it.
You did, and you were a tweeting machine.
Well, I tweeted 3 times, and that's big for me.
It was only 3. It seemed like I woke up and it seemed like my whole timeline. I was really
wow.
very. As her social buddy, I was very proud of her. So
That sucks.
great job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I thought the Grammys were absolutely wonderful. I thought Alicia Keys is adorable and gorgeous,
she's
talented.
amazing.
And I tweeted, "Let me play my second piano" is the new "Hold My Beer," because the woman, when she did
That was
that, I was
incredible.
like, even chopsticks when she was like, do.
How
And
long
then
do you think she
Entertainer.
practiced that?
I don't know, but she must have been
Because
doing it for
she
years.
was like flawless.
Flawless.
It didn't not
I
one
mean,
mess
she
up.
could have done the whole Grammys, and
Yeah.
I would have been totally okay with it.
I didn't see any complaints about her being the
She was
the
so
host.
yeah, and she was
She's
so
graceful.
loving, and the natural makeup and the outfits, just
And
so loving.
And I love that she does the natural makeup thing because it does show that you don't have to wear a bunch of makeup to look pretty.
know.
You know?
And then Michelle Obama's walking up. What's happening?
we have a roll cue for that.
Losing my mind.
Michelle's former First Lady, Michelle Obama. I like to call her Mrs. Obama. It's not polite to just call her Michelle. She is Mrs. Obama. She said that Alicia Keys is one of the most thoughtful people she knows, and she had to be there to stand next to her.
Wow.
I thought that moment was really good.
People
All 5
were
of those
flipping
women,
out.
yeah.
The only thing I wish they had done is Alicia could have announced them.
I agree.
Because you couldn't see J-Lo.
I agree with
and
you.
everyone's like, who's that?
Yeah,
Is
who's
that
under that
Michelle? So, yeah.
Also, while we're on that topic, what's with the hat?
We got to talk about the hat.
Nobody liked the hat. The dress is beautiful.
I don't understand the hat. To me, it's hard to see. I don't know. I mean, maybe the hat's cool. I don't know. I'd enjoy
But it's
it.
at nighttime. Like, are you even allowed to wear hats when it's nighttime? Because
I
I've
know.
wondered that myself. You know those cute little news caps? I almost went out the other night. And I
Oh,
was
you
like,
can wear those.
at night though?
Yes.
But why?
Because you're delivering the news. You're dealing with the news.
Okay. Tori says it's okay.
Yeah, you certainly can. I thought
Gaga's dress.
Gaga's dress was great. I think everybody's fashion was interesting. We had some upsets, obviously, but I thought the performances were great. Crazy enough, though, who loves Gaga the most? Who went to go see her? Not Gaga over Gaga's performance.
A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah.
I actually didn't see that performance. I missed that one. But I really liked the Dolly performance.
Ugh.
The tribute to Dolly. And I love Miley Cyrus.
And the
I
tribute
love
to
them
Dolly,
together.
and Dolly's just like, I'll do my own tribute.
Yeah, right? How incredible was that, though? She's such a BA. I don't know if I'm allowed to say ass.
Well, you just did.
I think I'm allowed to.
Well, now we are.
I'm allowed to. That's the only one I'm allowed to say.
Mrs. O, so Save the Hat for Kentucky Derby. I thought it was a really good show.
I agree with you. The hat was just...
But here's the big,
don't know.
there's some controversy we want to get into. First of all, congrats to all the winners. Cardi B, of course, is the
Cardi.
first solo woman to win Best Rap Album, and she was taken aback a lot, which was really sweet to see. If you guys didn't
Also,
know...
that album is incredible. Have you listened to that
Yes.
album? If not, I'm going to get you a copy because that's one of my favorite albums in general right
Wow.
now. I love it. I listen to it on repeat.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, also, if you guys didn't know, Cardi B is a huge Gaga fan, and at her high school did a talent show to...
Bad Romance?
I think it's Bad. Yes, it's Bad Romance, and did a whole kind of dance.
yeah.
So she put it on Facebook and Instagram, and said, "I can't believe I hope I get to meet her one day." So they met at the Grammys, and it was
I love that.
a big moment.
Another
big,
thing
big
that was
moment.
cool with the Cardi thing, if you saw the Ariana Grande drama, so Ariana Grande did not attend. She did post a picture of her in her Cinderella outfit. A lot of people are saying that was an ode to Mac Miller because he had a song about her called Cinderella. The issue is after Cardi won, which Mac Miller was also up for Album of the Year.
Remember, Mac Miller
Yes.
unfortunately
died of an overdose.
of
this
an overdose
past
and
year.
was dating or engaged to Ariana Grande. I think they
Yeah,
were just
so
dating.
they had broken up,
Right.
but they were very close, and I think one of the reasons she broke up with him is because he couldn't get clean, which was really sad. But she did not go to the Grammys, even though she was nominated. And so Mac Miller was also nominated for Album of the Year. Once Cardi won, Ariana kind of went on a tweet rant. She said the F word, and then she said trash on 2 separate tweets. She deleted them shortly after. A lot of people were saying, why are you calling Cardi trash? And she had to clarify, which in a also deleted tweet, she clarified that that's not what I meant. I wasn't calling Cardi trash, I promise. What she apparently meant is that the Grammys people flew Mac Miller's parents out, and she was upset that they flew them out for him not to win.
I don't know.
But I think they should have flown him out either way. He was nominated, so I think it was really cool of them to fly him out. And I don't think that she just.
I don't want to take away anymore. Yeah, I think I don't really want to talk about her anymore.
Where I was going with that is that Cardi. After she won the award, she tweeted or said it on an interview or something that this goes out to Mac Miller too, because I saw that his parents wanted me to win if he didn't win, and so we won a Grammy, Mac. So I thought that, and a lot of people don't call Cardi B classy, but I thought, I mean, it's giving me chills. That was her first time ever winning a Grammy, and she dedicated it to him, which I thought was really nice.
Very, very sweet.
Yeah, it gives you a little different side of her, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. I also want to let you guys know. Interesting fact, no black person has won Best Album of the Year since 2008.
Which is crazy.
Which is insane. Casey Musgraves took it, which was a surprise to all of us. I thought her performance of Rainbow was absolutely delightful. Brandi Carlile coming out of nowhere with an epic country performance that I thought the joke was excellent. The big moment here is Drake is one of them.
Yes.
He didn't show up the red carpet. He did show up backstage to accept winning an award. As you know, he has had a little beef with the Grammys, and at one point said, these don't really mean anything, and that you should just work and have people come to your concerts. At that point, he took a bit of a pause, and what we now know is he gave his Grammy to someone on his crew because it didn't mean anything to him, but the Grammy director cut away from Drake in a very sort of weird moment, because Drake is one of the most popular artists there is, and people didn't know he was there, so it was this big moment, and it was cut really short. So people are talking about that.
So yeah, he was apparently saying you don't just need the award, you just need people to be talking about you. You need the viral sensation, and so I think that's probably why they cut him off. I mean,
I don't know. The other one is Dua Lipa, who won for Best New Artist.
Yeah, and they cut her off too.
And she said, you know why?
Why?
So there's a fight because last year the Grammy president said these women, if they want to get awards, need to step it up. So Dua Lipa in her speech said, I guess we've really stepped it up.
I love it. And then cut.
So interesting moment. We also just want to get your take on one other very interesting thing people are talking about. J-Lo came out and did the Motown whole medley. And you saw Berry Gordy, who's created it. You saw Quincy Jones. You saw Smokey Robinson, who's also part of Motown. A lot of people are saying she wasn't the right choice because she isn't African-American. And that she did a J-Lo Motown, salsa, that kind of thing. Some people are saying, hey, Motown should be for everybody. So we want to know your opinion. It's not the fifth host, but I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm going to pull up your comments on Slack right now.
Yeah. Bought tickets to Casey for my wife for Valentine's Day, says Rainey. I can't get over how beautiful that rainbow was, how pared down it was. I thought it was excellent. Who's Goo for Gaga? Yeah, I don't know. I was not Goo for Gaga this time. She sounded tired of singing Shallow.
You know
she was
what
like, I'm on the deep end.
She's over it.
I've done this a million times. Where's Bradley Cooper now?
That's good. One thing people are talking about Gaga, if Leo can pull it up, there's this picture of Gaga. It was a moment during her performance where she's leaning into the camera.
Oh,
this thing.
And she just stayed that way.
Let me just show you. It's like this. And she just like stood there, and so people are memeing that. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. I also have to tell you guys something funny. If everyone can remember, who is this? Diana Ross. Happy birthday to me! Well, guess what? It's not her birthday. It's in March.
What? That's odd.
Yeah.
I missed that moment.
It was really weird.
That is weird. Why did that happen?
For everybody's birthday, that gif is going to be, happy birthday to me!
Wait, did we find out why she did that?
Beautifully. She said
a lot of people are talking about her performance.
I mean, and Dolly, 73.
Can I ask you something?
Fantasia?
Who was the other girl with Dolly and Miley? Who is
Mary Morris.
Who's that?
She looks just like a little Anna Kendrick,
she's
doesn't
so
she?
Cute.
She's she's a country artist, kind of.
She had a great voice, but I didn't know where
she's up for a Grammy.
And you know what bothered me is they didn't introduce her when she came out. They were introducing everyone that came out. And like, here comes whoever.
I think they said it because I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, well I thought she was good.
Maybe I just wasn't listening good enough.
A lot of people talking about how good the Grammys were. I just thought overall, what a lovely affair. And I thought, interesting note also, Joe Jackson was listed in the in memoriam. And I know that he is part of music history, but I didn't know if he should have been included.
Yeah. We're gonna move on to our fifth host.
Yeah, baby.
This one is kind of touchy for a lot of people. So the question today is, should teens have to wait until they're 18 to make their own vaccination decisions? So there's an Ohio teenager who recently made the decision to receive his first ever vaccines for a number of diseases, despite what his parents believe. His mom was influenced by online misinformation, he says, including a debunked study that claims certain vaccines could lead to autism and a theory that claims vaccines were linked to brain damage. Well, he wanted to do his own research, so he said it became obvious that there was a lot more evidence for vaccinating. So he tried to change his mom's mind. His mom wasn't budging, so he decided once he turned 18, he was going to get the vaccinations himself. So he did just get those vaccinations. I guess the question, should teens have to wait until they're 18 to make their own medical decisions, especially when it comes to vaccinations?
Yeah, I think they do.
You do?
Yeah, I really have a hard time with this one. I am very much believe in vaccinations, and I think you've seen an outcrop of measles because of that recently.
Exactly.
But I also think that a government, and I believe strongly, and I stick with this consistently, a government shouldn't tell me how to parent unless I'm doing something sort of abusive, horrible to people, to my child. So at some point, I think 18 is, if you're ready to go to war, then you can make your own decision. So I kind of agree with this. Now, I can be persuaded. I'm not hardcore on this.
So what if I'm 15 years old and I think I should be vaccinated? You don't think I should be able to go get vaccinated because my parents say it's not right?
Well, I don't know. At 15, can you make the medical decision and do enough research at
That's the
15? Are you
question.
ready and adult enough to say, I've made up my mind? Like, how can you decide that? So Jay Long from Twitter says, vaccinations are very important, but we must consider why parents feared them several years ago. There was real concern about the preservatives. As a parents, we had about 8 shots total compared to pumping 36 shots into our babies. Again, I just want you to know scientists have debunked the autism connected to vaccinations completely. There are questions that people bring up about preservatives in the shots. And I'm not trying to convince you about vaccinations or not.
No,
I'm just
that's
saying
not what this is about. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think, at 15, are you old enough to make yourself mature enough to say, I've done the research and I feel better? Or do you have to wait till you're 18?
I think a lot of kids are a lot more mature these days at a younger age.
But how do you make that cutoff?
I don't know.
So that's a hard thing.
That's the...
Ina says they should all be vaccinated. My cousin was not vaccinated, went to Italy, and then caught the measles and ruined his vacation. Back in the day, kids used to sneak out and go to parties. Now kids have to sneak out to get vaccinated.
how crazy is
this
that?
This is the world today. How sad, says Brandon Horan from Twitter. And then David McElman says, maybe we need to pass a law that parental consent is not required for vaccinations. Because scientists. Well, here's the problem. If I grew up and you're my mom and you raised me in a very good Christian Scientist household, which means I refuse any kind of medical intervention at all, then does that mean that I have to be different than them? So, good for, I'm on it. Oh, thanks. You mean these kids don't want to end up deaf or sterile, says Karen Rice. I'm sure she's being sarcastic. Yeah, now here's my question for you, Kelly. Could you consider not vaccinating your kids a form of either abuse or medical negligence?
Yes.
Could you consider that?
I think so. If you're putting other children in the public in harm, then yes.
Well, that's a question. Please
That's the
trust
question.
the science
what do you think,
people.
DBL Nation? Yeah.
Ethan Helhowski, please trust the science people. I promise they're not trying to fool you. They love their children as much as you. They should be able to get the vaccination if the decision is pro-vaccination before 18, says John Venturini.
How do we decide that though?
Maybe you put it to a vote and it's state by state. And maybe in Illinois, if you want to be vaccinated, you don't have an age limit.
Okay.
So you could vote on that. I mean, it could be a voting situation.
Yeah.
I think you really want to be careful with crossing the line of telling kids
That's
at
the
14
issue.
they don't have to listen to their parents. That's a weird line to play. This is terrifying as a mother, but still so proud. Keep us correct and educated. I'm almost 18, and my mom talked about this with me. We both are anti-vaccination. That's our decision, and I'm sticking with it. This is Sierra. Sierra is a constant DBL viewer. Sierra, thanks for being so open about that. Let me ask you a question, Sierra. If you were with your mom and she is anti-vax, which is, I'm not trying to convince you otherwise, and let's say you read some research that felt that you wanted to be vaccinated, would you have felt comfortable enough to say and ask her to get vaccinated?
Can I get vaccinated,
Would
Mom,
that have
even
been an
though
issue?
You disagree with it?
Right. Would that have been an issue with your mom, or is that going to be something that you guys felt open enough to discuss?
Yep, great question.
So that's important to know as well. So I want to know about this. It was a really fun performance. People are loving this. Hey, Albert.
Al's here. Good day, everyone.
Welcome.
I don't want Kelly to leave so abruptly.
I know. Why does she do that?
Oh, makes me feel like my breath stinks.
Definitely a states' rights issue, says John Venturini. Well, you have to send your kids to private school. You can be sure they're not around other students who are vaccinated. So we're on to fifth host, Al. Oh, are those for me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. They're not. They're chocolate hearts, and they're definitely not for me. And
And there's peanut butter inside of them.
From me. You can have
These are from Kelly's desk.
Oh,
Shout out
Kelly
to
is the
Kelly
best
Schubert.
candy.
She always has candy.
She
We love you
does.
so much,
We love you
girl.
so much, Kelly. You know what I think about Kelly when I meditate?
Really?
Yeah, neutral. You're supposed to think of someone neutral. So anywho, we wanted to ask you, do you think kids should be allowed to get vaccinated before they're 18 if their parents are anti-vax? If they so choose.
If they've done their own research.
I think so. I mean, I would assume that a kid still is allowed to, him or her is allowed to choose their own religion before 18. It might not, and I'm sure it happens, and I'm sure there's a lot of parents that aren't happy with this. But as looking at my son that just had his 11th birthday this weekend,
Oh my God!
thank you. Yeah, I mean, kids are growing up quicker. They have opinions. I feel like my generation, our generation, I didn't know what the hell was going on until I was like 25. Kids now have personalities. They do their own research. They have this, which allows them to learn a lot more. That Louis Armstrong song, they'll know more than, what's the lyric? They'll know more than we ever will.
That's it.
What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful,
You
the
know
trees
the lyric.
are green.
But honestly, I mean, kids are smarter, and I think that they should be allowed to make their own decisions. And for as much as we'd like to do what's best, what we think is best for them, who better than themselves to know what's best for them? So if they choose something and they change their mind, as we all did when we were 15, 16, 17, 18, I'm sure you went through a punk rock phase, and I'm going to be a basketball player phase, and I'm going to be a rapper phase, and we're all here as adults. I think we all go through phases, and I think your kids should be allowed to do the same.
I don't. I think it's. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh,
getting
yeah,
distracted.
no, you
It's
guys
okay.
continue to, I feel like we're in a Greyhound bus station. And
Jeez.
it's just
I was like, what's
a
going
random
on?
conversation happening. Is there a speed dating happening in here? What is happening? They're just like having.
I was like, what's happening?
I was just like.
I couldn't hear anything you said. I was like,
Was
what?
it loud? I'm really
Yes, you're in the
Okay,
same room.
will you guys write in and tell Jason to keep it down a
Yeah,
little bit?
that'd be great.
Thank you.
I do want to ask you this. Let's say I'm 14 and I'm in a Christian Scientist family and I have to go get surgery and my family says no because we don't like medical intervention. The doctors, there'd be a fight there between that because you can't choose your own religion before you're 18 if you're let's say you're a Christian Scientist. You sort of have to follow what your parents say because they're the guardians. So I think it's a fine line when government tries to come in and tell a parent how to do that until they're 18.
It's a fine line until the government is going to be asked to
Help a measles outcrop.
To help
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
because I always say it. Everybody is anti-big government. Everybody's small government. Government stay out of my life until a tornado takes
Yeah, I
down your
know.
town.
Yeah.
Until it's time to start handing out some blankets from the Red Cross.
Yeah.
Then everybody's fine with
Or there's
the
an
government.
outbreak, or there's an
yes,
outbreak.
and listen, this is what we pay taxes for. This is why the CDC exists. It's around to make sure that people don't get rubella and the mumps and things that used to kill people. I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this now either know the older generation that dealt with the polio outbreak and know the devastation that had on this country, and realizes that if you don't vaccinate, there are consequences for
Yeah.
that. We still see countries that don't vaccinate that still have diseases like cholera that was around in the 1400s.
Yeah.
So like if we don't take advantage of the medical advancements that we've come up with, we're bound to repeat the same
But is that a
decisions.
slippery slope of, let's say they make an advancement with putting a tracer in your head and we're like, well, every kid has to get that. And the government's like, yeah, you do. Are we now letting the government make medical decisions for our family?
I think the government is making medical decisions for this entire country. And
Okay,
I mean,
that's fair.
It's the same
It's a good
reason that
point.
we have fluoride in the water. I don't hear people complaining about that. There are conspiracy theorists, of course. But it's like, look.
The fluoride.
Yes, that's the way they track you. Listen, everybody. The government doesn't care. They're not coming for you. They want you to stay healthy and pay your taxes so they
This
can
is
make
interesting.
money.
Asen Lipska from Facebook, I kind of like this. If you're able to make the decision to go for a driver's permit, we should be able to give the right to decide if we want to get vaccinated. You letting us behind a 2,000-pound vehicle, you telling me I'm not smart enough to make my own decision about getting vaccinated. So that's around 15, 16 in most states. Are you guys interested in a statewide vote for this?
I just don't understand why.
Cool.
First of all, I am. I just, I keep getting hung up on this. I don't understand why science and medicine is the only thing that's questioned. If your mechanic told you that you needed a complete overhaul brake job, would you call me What if I said, no, you don't listen to your mechanic? You'd be like, Al, you're a stand-up comic. What are you talking
However,
about? Doctors are the only people that are constantly questioned, and it's costing people their lives.
Well, XOOX says vaccinations are a choice. I don't like putting a lot of chemicals in my body just because the government says so. So it's not just a mechanic thing. It's your body being put stuff in it. So there's a difference between your own body and like a car, right?
You remember what I always say? The closer you live to human beings, the less autonomous you are on your own body. If you want to go to Juneau, Alaska, and get a place 300 miles outside of there, and wake up with moose in your front yard and be around and not be around people, feel free to not vaccinate. I'm cool with that. I'll still love you. Follow me on Instagram. But if you decide to send your non-vaccinated kid to school with my kids, now we have something to talk about because you're making a decision for all of us. And you have to understand that the closer you are to human beings, the closer that you are to convenience, being able to run to the grocery store, being able to make an emergency run to urgent care. If you decide to live around people, to live in major metropolitan areas or even suburban areas, you are making a decision for all of us, and you can't be selfish. You say, I don't want to put chemicals in my body. First of all, what's this? I guarantee you everything that you eat, put spray on you, wash on you, is full of chemicals. So like when you say the word chemicals, I'm not saying that you sound silly. I'm saying that it is silly because everything is chemicals. Pepsi is a chemical reaction. Everything is chemicals. So like when you say things like that, I understand that you're talking about toxins.
That's true. I hear that argument, and I'm not saying I'm taking the other argument, but the other side simply says, I'm uncomfortable no matter what it is, even if it's a live life fully, with the government telling me I must put this in my body. That's a very fine line between states' rights and people's rights and individuals' rights and the government. So although it might be healthy and better for you, is there an argument to be made that I have my own agency and I don't want someone from the government telling me what I have to do?
It's not really someone from the government. I honestly feel like we are a community of people. Look, the government isn't some giant in the hillside coming to visit the townspeople. The government is us. The government is a bunch of buildings in D.C. And what we've all decided is that we want a police force, that we want hospitals, that we want people to fix our roads. We've decided these things. And we've also decided that we don't want our kids to have polio, that we don't want our kids to have the mumps and rubella and things that we have already cured. And I think that your decision, because you read some things on the internet, which you can put anything on the internet, last I checked, doesn't make you a scientist, and that's not an insult.
But that's
not an insult.
But that's not a choice I think the government has a right to make. Sierra Bergman, for instance, her mom and she are anti-vax, and she said, I wish my mom would hear this, she'd be going off with opinions. Whether or not it's crazy or whether or not it's stupid in your opinion.
I don't think anything's stupid. I love people's opinions.
Of course.
I'm right, but
whether or not you think it's useless, the idea is, do you need someone mandating that you get it? That sort of eliminates your choices. So I'm just giving you guys sort of the other side and the point of view about that.
So those 15 states, guys, just to throw that out to you. 18 states. The people voted a couple of years ago to allow people to opt out for philosophical reasons. Do you think now, in light of the measles, do you think it was an uninformed vote 2 years ago?
I think if you don't have training in this field, I appreciate people being so passionate about something that they've read. I've read 12 articles. I saw a YouTube video. I saw a documentary that explained everything. You can see a documentary saying, don't do the keto diet. You can see a documentary saying, go completely vegan, gluten-free. People make documentaries for slanted reasons. People make, they publish scientific reports. You can find reports saying that there is no such thing as global warming. You can find something that says global warming is going to kill us in 12 years. You can find anything you want on the internet, and don't, they always talk about this with detective work. You have to be careful that you already have formed a bias, so everything that you're looking for is just supporting your own argument. If you go in there with an open mind, that's fine, but let's be honest, no one does. We all have our opinions. If you're searching, if you're an anti-vax person, you're going to be on anti-vax websites. It's going to continue to reinforce what you're saying. And I'm pro-vax, and I'm going to be on pro-vax websites. So
but does that mean that the government can say you're right and they're not?
It's if scientists, let's stop with the government. Scientists, people that since they were in the 8th or 9th grade have been going to camps, have been doing research, have published research in front of international committees, people that have gotten degrees, people that understand immunology on a graduate level.
But what about Christian scientists who don't believe in any medical intervention? Are you saying they're absolutely wrong? They don't believe in anything.
I'm saying that their opinions cannot be as valid as people that have studied this for 20 years. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair. Should the government step in if there's a plague coming? I mean, if measles is going to become a plague.
So they're saying, yeah, and you know, there is an argument to be said it's illegal to commit suicide. Why? Because it's bad for the state and it's bad for the government and they want their people to be happy. So in this case, is that a false equivalency of saying, hey, if you can say you can't commit suicide, then we can say you got to vaccinate your kids. I'm just giving you guys the other opinion of saying, even if you want to convince me and you don't, I still don't want government telling me what I can or cannot do. There's a reproductive rights issue there. There's a philosophical of this is my body and you can't tell me what I put in my body, no matter how stupid it might be.
I don't understand why people are so worried about the government telling them what to do as it pertains to their body. But like when the government came out and said school buses might have seatbelts, we were all on board with that. So I don't understand. That's also protecting your child's body. So why is it? Because one is
a chemical that you're ingesting and one is a seatbelt. One is internal and one is external.
I would make this argument. I would like to see everybody that's anti-vax. I would also like to see all the research that you've done on what your kids eat for lunch every day at school. Because
That's a good point.
guarantee you, the fish sticks that your kids are eating that have been frozen since you were a kid are much more harmful than any kind of vaccination. I hope that you guys understand that a lot of stuff that we take into our bodies and a lot of things that we're exposed to have nothing to do with vaccination.
That's true.
So just please
That's a great
understand
point.
what we're talking about.
Kimberly says, Tori, so the government telling people don't do drugs, but yet we want you to put these drugs in your body like vaccines. Is that the government overreacting? Maybe we should all be able to do drugs. I think those are interesting philosophies and theories.
I'll ask you to do this. Do me a favor and watch TV. See all the commercials for Lipitor, for Vyvanse, and all of Viagra. We're already all on drugs.
Interesting. Great way to end. We're all on drugs.
Yes.
We have
I'm
a great
on drugs
heart
right
threads.
now.
Do we have a heart threads? I'm having drugs.
Can I have
guys.
drugs?
We're all gonna go get drugs. We love seeing you guys. Hope you have a great frothy coffee.
you guys.
Thanks for making me think, Al. That was a good one. Bye,
All right.
guys.